Ja, ja, ja.
I have enough confidence in the things that I know. I have enough wisdom to see the logic will be shown. I got one chance to show you what I got. I got one chance to show I'm confident or not. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, and the fools are running away. It's not what you say, it's only what you can prove. You better watch your step, you better mind your P's and Q's. You got one chance, show me what you got. You got one chance, show you confident or not. Don't get caught in the matrix of all of these fakers. Society's spinning, and I'm just here living on the ground. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, logically thinking, and the fools are running away. You're flipping over backwards to show me where you think you are. Your model dictates that you never see too far. Shrinking in the distance, you can do fuck all with an angle, and the fools are running away.
Bev, this is basically the perspective equation. That if you want the height of something, if the angle is small enough, you don't have to use trig functions. All you do is multiply the distance out times the angular measure in radians. That gives you the height.
Well, they're below the horizontal crosshair when each instrument is set horizontal, but each one seems to be interpreting horizontal a little different.
All right. So, George, I don't know. You heard me go through the.
Yeah, well, what it was, somebody said on one of your previous shows that some images that were shown that I had taken where there was a lot of looming in the background, where the images in the background where you'd have your horizon that rose above the tangent or the horizontal at the point of observation. Somebody said that, and they told me that Bev said, well, obviously my auto level is out of adjustment, and I wanted to take issue with that. My equipment is not out of adjustment. This is my profession, is I calibrate electronic equipment, spectrum analyzers, network analyzers, voltmeters. That is part of my business. I'm very fussy about keeping all my equipment in calibration. I have NIST standards that are traceable, National Institute of Standards and Technology. All of my equipment is traceable back to NIST. because I have primary standards and secondary standards that are calibrated against the NIST standards. And and with the surveying equipment, the theodolites, the auto levels, and that are all dead nuts on within 1 arc second. So there is no issue about my equipment being out of calibration that would cause the images to rise above the horizontal.
Okay, so are you going to show us how you do the calibration? Or are you going to explain why the...
Sure.
are you going to do both? Are you going to explain why the
I can.
image
Do you
is
know
above the crosshair?
Do you know how to calibrate auto levels and theodolites, Bev?
That would be a process of going out and with the auto level performing a 2-peg test and calibrating it after the fact until we get the 2-peg test working as close to perfect as we can get it. And an auto level, remember, it's really only meant for those short distances. We're only looking, 1 to 200 feet with an auto level, more or less. Not, 8 miles and 24 miles. So this is unfair to the auto level also. The auto level is not accurate to that distance. And then with the theodolite, it would be taking it to a place with known values, known measurement values expected, right? So we can expect what the measurement values would be. That's what you would do with the theodolite. Like take you to a calibration baseline, or compare it to an instrument that is well calibrated, and you've established points that have known values, and you compare those values that you get out of the instrument to what is known, and then you can make adjustments after that. But that wasn't the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video was just to show quickly that, hey, we've got both these lighthouses below these crosshairs.
Is this an auto level that you're talking about? Because I've got the images there in
I have both. I have
live
the
stream.
image. I don't know which images you saw, but if it was
The ones in the live stream.
If it was images that I took within the last year, then it was viewing through the theodolite, not an auto level.
Yeah, that's why I said that'll be why the crosshair will be down. They're literally
then his
feet
equipment-
away
Then
from
he
each
has
other.
not properly adjusted the equipment.
That exactly.
No.
That's why the image will be
The auto
because you'll have
level
had
and
it
the
pointing down.
the auto level and the theodolite agree dead nuts on. I told you I keep all my equipment in tip-top shape and calibrated. So when you set the crosshairs of a theodolite to 90 degrees, it will train at the same spot as the auto level will.
Yeah.
Do you have that picture that we were referring to that night? Maybe just for
Yeah,
the
I'll
audience.
put them in the live chat. There's 4 pictures, and I think they're the ones that I was referring to. The ones that George gave
Live
to
chat,
Ricky,
okay.
and I think he
Let me
got them
see.
from a demonstration that you were doing on Jose's, I think. So there's
Live
2
chat.
pictures that have actually been sent from you to Rakia, and then a couple of pictures from a demonstration that you did on Jose's that show
I
that
got
the
Image you're
crosshairs
talking
are
about. Do you have the image?
in
Do you
they're
have the
in
image?
general. George.
They're in general.
Yep.
I don't see them. Where?
The
Let me share my screen because I brought one of them up, but you should see them in general.
there's the one that's the double
My bad.
one. The
I'm
one
in
that's
general.
back
I'm
to
in
back, and
general
that should be-
chat. Oh,
because-
wait. Hang on a sec. Oh, shoot.
I'm sharing one of them on the screen.
Yeah, oh right, yeah. Sorry. Have we got a different room, or
Oh, okay. You're on
we
live.
use
All
that
right.
general
Hang on.
one?
Watch stream.
Yeah, that's one of them. That's probably
Yeah.
the most extreme.
Yeah, that
one.
was taken this winter. Yeah, that. If you look at the crosshairs, that is a theodolite crosshairs where you have the double line on the bottom.
Yeah.
The-
I know.
Auto level does not have crosshairs like that.
Yeah.
The auto level just has a single lot vertical line and single horizontal line.
Is that water?
And then there's 2 stadia lines on the vertical.
Is that water?
That's ice.
Right. Is that above the crosshair?
Yes, the crosshairs is at 90 degrees. That's
Okay.
horizontal at the
So
point
that
of observation.
ice is higher than the crosshair.
That's what you see, yes.
Okay. Is the ice actually higher than the crosshair?
No,
So how
The ice
does,
is
how
below
does
the
the
crosshair.
image appear above the crosshairs in that picture?
it's called refraction. Looming.
Okay, cold, you say?
Yeah, I mean, I could look up that the temperature is probably, my guess is about minus 15 centigrade.
Right, you can see my problem with this, right? That you're stood somewhere with an auto level or a theodolite, let's say, and you've got the crosshairs that are running perpendicular to the surface underneath you. Right? How the problem I'm imagining now.
Parallel to the surface, not perpendicular.
Perpendicular. Well, the vertical is perpendicular. Okay, so it's
Okay.
parallel to the surface. I'm happy with parallel because it's horizontal, right?
Well, it's parallel. It's parallel at the point of observation.
It's a
to
straight line
tangent.
that you're looking down the thing. Right? When you look through the crosshairs, that's a straight line, right? And you're looking down a telescope or, a scope,
Right, you're looking through the scope.
and that's a straight line.
Yes.
Okay, now, you say it's parallel to the surface underneath.
At the point of observation.
How does the parallel line rise above the parallel line? How does that crossing of parallel lines occur in your...
Do you have the other image on a low refraction day, Brandon, that you could
the
put up?
ones
There were
that,
two
like a
photographs.
normal one where there's the horizon
Yeah, I think he
doesn't
posted
rise
another
above
one.
the crosshair.
Two. Yeah, let me open that one for you guys. Here's one.
Yeah, that's on the target.
Uh-huh.
Now, normally, okay, what you have here, let me explain what you have. In the foreground, you're looking at the point on what we call Franzen Island. That's 2.73 miles away. That's where that channel marker is. And behind the channel marker, you see trees. Those trees are not on that island. They are on another island 6 miles away. The background is 6 miles away on Home Island in
Okay, we're
Canada.
not bothered about. They've got a target there at 2.7.
Okay,
Let's
but
stick
the
to
thing
that.
is, under normal conditions with low refraction, you do not see the ice behind Franzen Island rising up over the island and intersecting with the tower. If you go back to the previous image, you see the ice that is normally hidden by Franzen Island rising up over the island in the background. You want to put that image up, Brandon? Yes. See, that ice now, which is between Franzen Island and Home Island, has now risen up over and above
It's all
Franzen Island.
risen up. The target's risen up as well, hasn't it?
Yes, but not as much.
Yeah, it has. The target's up there. The target is in the middle of that post. You can see it on it.
Yes.
Right.
The target has
So
risen
how
up.
high?
What?
How high is that target?
Target is about, let's see.
Like
I've got the
there.
numbers elsewhere. It would be about 17 feet up off the ice.
Right. And how high is the crosshair?
What do you mean? No, at the point of observation, they're about 12 feet.
Right. So you've got that even in one of the best picture. You've got it. What would that? What would you say the target height is? 17, and you've got 12. So there's in one picture there's 5 foot in between it. And how much would you put on that one? Because I put that. If that's only at 17 feet, that crosshair's got to be looking down, George. It's got to be. Come on.
Go back to the clear image, Brandon.
That one.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
that target.
Start
that
with the crosshair.
Grant, will you let me speak? The target that you see,
Yeah.
the two black triangles pointing towards one another in the center of the channel marker structure. That is a target that I put up.
Yep.
Now, the height of that target was adjusted so as to take into account Earth drop on a curved Earth. Now, let me
come
explain
on,
what's
George.
going
How
on.
high is it?
Will you shut up and let me explain? Put your listening ears on. Now, this was set up to measure refraction and also could reveal whether or not the Earth is flat or curved. And the way it's done is at the point of observation where I have the theodolite. I'm about 13 feet, 12 to 13 feet above. Ah, Jesus. I've got the precise measurements if you want. I'll go look it up.
Give
Will
us
you
the
quit
precise
interrupting
measurement
me?
and then we know what we're doing. We know how exact we're going to be.
Okay, all right. Hang on.
Where did you take that height from? Have you got a benchmark somewhere?
Yes.
Where was the initial benchmark taken from?
What I did is I put prisms just above the surface, 6 inches above the surface of the water on a calm day.
Oh, so you're using
And
the water as a reference, right?
Oh, Jesus. Huh?
You're just using the water as a datum. So when you're saying 12 or 13 feet, you're using the water.
I'm using the surface of the water.
Right, okay.
Yes.
So you're not using sea level, right? You're just using a reference
No, I'm
datum
using the
that
lake level.
Okay.
I don't care about sea level.
Okay.
We're assuming that the water seeks its own level, right? Everywhere on a calm lake, the surface of the lake is all going to be at the same elevation. You'll agree with that, right?
Well, I don't know. If that's what you're taking, your assumption in this when you're making your measurements, yeah, we can go with that. So
That's what everybody's always claiming, right? The surface of a body of water that's calm. We have no swells. We have no tides on this lake.
I don't know, George. I haven't got a clue. I know you don't have any tides on lakes. I know that.
You what?
I know you don't have tides on lakes, George.
Very
I
much.
know
There
that.
are tides, but they're insignificant.
Okay,
on this
right.
lake,
So-
I've measured
so-
the tide to be on the order
So
of
the height of
millimeters.
the theodolite crosshair is, if we come up with a height above the... Did you take a mean over the lake levels?
what?
Did you take a mean over the lake levels?
Doesn't matter what the lake levels are if
It
you
does,
measure
because
it
if
all
you're
at the same
using-
day.
Well, if you're
all
using a
measured on
certain
the
height
same
above
day. I
the
don't
water,
care about
George,
a
it's all right.
mean.
Don't worry about it. Okay. So you've just measured the height of the water, right? Now, how high is the crosshair of the theodolite, and how high is that target above the surface of the water of the lake? If that's what you're using as your
Getting
datum.
those numbers for you. Hang
Thank you.
on. But anyway, until I get the numbers here. Got so much data.
What are we doing? Waiting for George.
I'm
George
trying to
is
find-
doing
yeah,
that.
I'm trying to get the numbers.
He gets
for,
upset if we
here.
talk and say anything while he's doing that.
No, you can say until I get the numbers. Talk.
Okay. All right. So here's what I see is like what I'm trying to check now, just so everybody knows. That George's the crosshairs are at a certain height now. George says they are set, and we have to trust him that it's been calibrated, and they are set at 90 degrees. An auto level would be better, but you still 2 miles is a bit too far to be able to see a target. I mean, it must be quite a big
No, it
target.
isn't.
That,
I will. No, it
2.7.
isn't. I will show you images
Right.
of comparing the theodolite and an auto level that I did just an hour ago.
Okay, brilliant. At 2.7 miles.
Yes.
Okay.
and 6
Is that
miles.
usual working range for you?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So what I'm checking now is the height of the crosshair and the height of the target over at the other side, because then we can see whether it's a comparable, what we call level. That's what I'm checking for, just to see where, to give us a reference of where the lines are and where it's lining up. What sort of
Okay.
do you call it, collimation, George? Or
Here we go. The observer, the theodolite or auto level that's set on a post. I have a post that's cemented into the bedrock. It's a 2-inch steel post that's cemented into the bedrock at my point of observations. And I have a triback mounted on that so I can interchange a theodolite and an auto level or any number of theodolites onto the post without the vertical height changing. I mean, it is fixed. It is never going to change. It's cemented into the bedrock and it's a steel post. So I'm always at the same location at the same height when I set up my equipment. Now,
does your theodolite not set up higher than your auto level?
no, because I've doubled some bases. It's 1.5 inches higher than the auto level.
Okay.
But I've doubled up on bases. Normally, if you set the auto level and the theodolite on the same base, the center of optics to the base on the theodolite is 6.5 inches, and the auto level is more like about 3.5 to 4 inches. But because I've doubled up the bases on the auto level, the center of optics on the theodolite is 6 inches, and it's or 6.5 inches, and it's 5 inches for the auto level.
Okay, so we're within 1.5 inches of your difference. So
Center of the
what
optics.
height's that, sort of, above the water?
And let's see here. Okay. With respect to the water level, the observer height of the theodolite is 124 3/4 inches. So that is 10 feet, 0.4 feet, 10.4 feet, okay, above the surface of the water when I set it up. And the target is at, let's see here. The target is at 184.37 inches, and that's 15 feet, 15.36 feet. So the
Okay,
difference,
so it's a 3 foot. How big's the target?
here,
I'm just so I can get an idea on how big those triangles
Yes.
are.
yes. Okay, the Franzen Island target is, if you look from the top to the bottom where I have those 2 black triangles that are
Yeah.
pointing towards one another,
Yeah.
the top base of the top triangle to the bottom, the fat base on the bottom triangle is 27 13/16 inches. It is designed to be 33.1 arc seconds from top to bottom at that distance.
Okay, so that's a good 2.5
And the
foot.
width is 19 inches or 22.6 arc seconds across.
Okay, so you've got a 3 foot ish difference and a 2 foot scope, but you've only got 1.5 foot difference.
Right.
So yeah, you've got your theodolite height was about 12 feet, and that's looking
10
across
feet, 10.5 feet.
10 feet, right? And it's looking across at a target at did you say? 15 feet?
Yeah, 15.4 feet roughly. Yep,
Okay.
above the surface of the water.
Okay.
Now,
But,
this
but it's
was
touching
designed-
the bottom of that target, George. So that means there's 4 foot.
Say what?
It's
what?
touching the bottom of the target, isn't it? That crosshair.
No, let me explain something.
No,
here.
is it
We're go-
touching the bottom of the target? 'Cause
Yes.
It looks like, okay.
Yes.
So there's like 4 foot difference then? In between where it's touching the bottom of the target. And because you said 10 foot to 15 foot, and that's about 1.5
Now,
feet.
let me explain something here.
Okay.
The way this was set up is I have my mounting pole at the observation point set at a specific height that would never change, and I set the targets. I designed 2 targets, one to go out at 2.73 miles, one to go out at 6 miles, and their heights, their sizes were adjusted so with perspective, they look exactly the same size. The Franzen Island target is 27 and 13/16 inches in height. The Home Island target at 6 miles is 60 inches in height. And when you look at them, they look to be the same size because of perspective. And it was designed purposely that way so that from top to bottom, they're about 33 arc seconds. Now, they were positioned
33.
so that with no atmosphere, that the crosshairs of the theodolite would hit the center of the target if the Earth was curved. The target was set to be 2.73 miles squared times 8 inches above the surface of the water. Now,
The water
if the
drops
Earth is-
from where the theodolite is, right? You've set the targets as though the water curves and drops away from the horizontal, and you've adjusted the targets specifically for that.
That's correct.
Okay.
The level
Is it-
surface drops down from the horizontal plane at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared.
So that when the crosshairs of the theodolite are set to 90 degrees, which is shooting out a tangent to the Earth horizontally, or you set up an auto level that the crosshairs would hit the center of the target if indeed the Earth was curved, because I raised the targets up by the drop distance of the curvature of the Earth, 2.73 squared times 8 inches.
The level
Is it-
surface drops down from the horizontal plane at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared.
That target is that much higher above the surface of the water than the theodolite is. So that would show you that if there wasn't any refraction, whether or not you were on a curved or flat Earth. If you're on a flat Earth, the target would raise way above the crosshairs.
Like in the other picture. Can you just flick to that other picture, Brandon?
That other picture
Like
is
in that
bullshit.
one.
because-
Yeah, but that
you
one
can't-
isn't that one like you've just said. Like you said something about
That's a lot of refraction.
shooting
That's
above.
right-
But
that's
yeah, but
right-
isn't that
that's
what
right
you
at
just said would
sunset.
happen?
Yes, if you're on a flat Earth.
If you're on a flat
Without
Earth, the
refraction.
water would
Without
rise above the
refraction.
horizontal. Are
Without
you sure, Judge?
Refraction. That's high refraction. That's at sunset. The refraction was extreme.
Okay. So you like you just said, when the refraction is extreme, that is what you imagine a flat Earth to be like, because then the targets and the water all lift up above the horizontal, above your level, apparently. Like I say, George, I've never seen anything like that in my life. Are you sure you've not angled that theodolite, the
No,
thing down a
You
bit?
can't,
It looks
Bev,
like
you
you
can't-
have, George.
you can't bias a theodolite or an auto level. If the
You can.
compensator is
It measures
if the
angles, George.
If the compensator is free to move, you can't fool it.
It looks,
You cannot
George,
bias it. You cannot angle it. It's
You-
free to move, and it self-adjusts itself to establish a horizontal.
An auto level does that, George. A theodolite, you can move the angle, the
Yes.
vertical angle.
Yes, but
Are
if you
you
but
sure
if
that's
you've
not what's
collimated
happened
it,
in that?
if you've collimated it like I did, then when you read 90 degrees, you know it's going to be at horizontal or
I know,
on the
but are you
tangent.
sure that is?
Yes, I am
because
sure.
That
I
looks like the
calibrate-
water
I-
is above the
Oh my
horizontal, George.
I check my instrumentation every day before I make measurements. I check the collimation. I'll show you how I do it if you want to see.
Well, I've got some more pictures of some other things because we've been doing this. This is exactly what we've been doing last week when we went out. And we were looking out. And I've done this quite a lot because I've got an auto level. And an auto level only does horizontal. And I've never seen any level surface rise above it. If it starts off below, then I've never noticed that it rise above the
then
horizontal.
you've never had high refraction. Try doing it around sunset.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when we did.
That's the worst time of day to be making any sort of measurement.
The horizon didn't make it anywhere near the horizontal crosshairs.
Well,
George.
it's also
No.
possible that during sunset you might not have the extreme refraction. More likely than
Like
not,
I say,
you
I've
can
never
pick up
seen
high
that,
ref-
George.
Dad, will you quit interrupting me? I'm not interrupting you.
You did.
Just hold on.
Carry
I'm
on.
saying during sunset, you're more likely to pick up high refraction than not. But I have viewed days on sunset where there wasn't much refraction. But more likely than not, you may pick up high refraction during sunset. So if you make several observations, several different days, you should one of those days pick up high refraction where you can see the background rising up significantly like that one photograph of mine shows.
I can say I've never seen that before, George. Never seen. Especially
see it often.
if you're setting up a theodolite, you see the water rise above the crosshairs of a horizontal set crosshairs. You see the water rising above it quite often, George.
Oh, Brandon,
Is that what you just said? Can you confirm it, George, please?
what?
Because we are doing tests for this right now. We're ongoing
What are-
tests for the
Where,
horizon.
what are you doing your test over?
Did you-
What kind of?
Did
What's your optical corridor?
Georgie,
Over
are you,
water, over land? What?
we are doing tests at the minute, George, where we go out.
Yes, over
George,
what?
You're,
What does your
you're
op-
interrupting me, George.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
you,
does
you
your
are
optical
interrupting me, George.
corridor
That's
look like?
very
Over water,
rude,
over
George.
land?
Do you not want me to tell you, or you're going to do it?
Tell me.
Right. We went out at the weekend, and we are going out at the weekend to a beach that Conspiracy Cats told us to go to. And we go out and we look out over the water. Do you want to have a look at some pictures? I'll see if I can find you some pictures so you can have a look at that. But we've just been, because I knew that you were coming with this. So I went and had a look at some other surveyors and some other videos. We got some other pictures. Oh, I think it's on there. Got it on this video on the here. This is. Oh, can you? Do you want to have a look at
sharing?
my screen? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see you sharing yet, but yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
On my video pad.
Let's see. I see you. I don't
Top
see you
right
sharing
hand corner.
anything yet. There we go.
Yeah, you got that.
It's loading. Yep, we're good.
Right, this is guy set up a theodolite and an auto level at the side, and what he's doing, he's looking out over water. And then this is the auto level with the crosshair, obviously, above the water. And then he gets here. This is his theodolite. It's upside down. He mustn't know how to sort that out, George? But for some reason it's upside down, but I write it. It goes like this, so I write it and then put them both together. And then rescale it so they're both together. And can you see that there? There's two different hairs because they're in two different positions. Now this guy says that's expected for you to have horizontals in different positions because they're different
the
tools.
crosshairs.
Yeah.
Where's the crosshairs?
Where are the
I
crosshairs?
don't see any crosshairs.
Can you not? I mean, it's really bad. He didn't adjust that one. Can you see that one?
Well, how do we know where horizontal is?
Can
You
you
don't show
see
me
the crosshairs, George,
Can
or
you
not?
maximize it a little more?
I can't.
The
I can't really
crosshairs
get
are
it any. It's
not
really
coming through,
dull.
Probably because pixelation.
Yeah, it's really. What I can do is I can get you a picture for it, but I mean, it's really hard to see.
You need a reference. You need.
There is
horizontal
crosshairs on it, George. The guy
I
that
don't
took this
see 'em.
picture hasn't focused it. He's left the picture still upside down. If you
Well,
haven't noticed.
Then how do we know? Now I have to
He's-
take your
I know
word
he's in.
for it.
I know,
How
right?
do we,
Well, look.
how do I
look,
know
George,
that you know where the crosshairs are? I
George,
can't see 'em.
George, in the general chat, there is a picture I have taken. You can have a look. You can see the crosshair there. It's in a different place than the other one. You can go and have a look at the video yourself at some point. But what this guy in this video in particular wanted to mention was they will always be above the crosshairs, above the horizon, but he has them both in different positions, right? Now, he, like you said that water could rise above the crosshairs. Is that still a position that you maintain? That it, that could happen again? Because like I say, I've never seen it occur. The water or the horizon rising above the crosshairs when you're especially looking out over water, because that's what you're claiming, right, George?
George still here? George is gone.
Has he?
Yeah, maybe he had a
Oh,
technical issue, but
dear.
he's. God
We'll
damn
wait
it!
back. There's another one here that he went back to a bit further on. Somebody else had one here. Look, oh, can you see that? So he's got three different devices. He's got a total station and a theodolite and an auto level.
Also of note, the total station has a 30 power scope, the auto level has a 24 power scope, and the theodolite has a 28 power scope. So we have three completely different scopes also that we're looking through.
Auto level's got a 24 times scope. The theodolite has a 28 times scope, and the total station has a 30 times scope. This is the 30 times scope theodolite, or total station, I think, that has a. The crosshair's pretty close. That's a pretty good image. You can see way more. Then you go back and see that. That's a 24 times scope with the. It's pretty close to that one, isn't it? The crosshair for the auto level and the total station. It's this one where he has the theodolite that's upside down. That's miles away. It's a load different. I'll give you the link for the video. It's from some guy from Maine. Maybe why George has disappeared.
I'm helping him get back in now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yo, George.
Yep, you're here. Gotcha.
Where the hell am I?
You're in a secret room.
Oh, okay. Because something happened. I got thrown out and then I couldn't find you.
If that
Okay.
happens again, just comment in general like you did, and I'll put you back in.
Okay. Alrighty.
All right.
Okay. All right. Yes, Bev. I see the crosshairs. All right. So the horizon or where the buildings are below the crosshairs. All right. Now what?
Well, like in this one, they're in different positions above, but like I say, the horizon doesn't ever rise above them. I mean, how could it? levels can't rise above other levels, could they?
Is he gone again? What the hell's he doing? Is someone kicking him out? You there, George?
Okay, all right.
What?
Jesus,
What happened? You keep getting kicked
well,
out? Or what?
I tried to hit general chat and I hit general voice.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right, now, okay, I'm looking at general chat. Let's see, where's Bev's thing again? Okay, there it is. No, that isn't it. Ah, Jesus, where's that image?
Make the point you made. I don't think he was here for that, Bev.
Yeah, Judge, there's 3 different devices in this picture. Right,
I'm trying to find that image, Bev. Hang on a second. There's something.
There's an auto level, a theodolite, and a total station, all looking at the same thing, and they all have different crosshairs. Although the auto level and the total station seem to be close, even though one of them's 24 times scope and the other one's 30.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
The
What are you
theodolite-
calling yourself, Bev? In this? What's your name?
Bev, try thinking.
Okay, so that hasn't changed. But I'm not. Short message.
What you looking for?
I'm looking for you in general chat. I can't find that image. yet.
I'm in here with you, George. I've only posted one picture.
Yeah,
I
but
guess
where?
The chat's moving. In general chat, it was. I don't know. How far
Yeah,
you're gonna have
like
to
I
go
saying,
back.
I don't see it anymore.
Right, do you want me to? I'll come back and post it again for you.
What?
There you go.
You can put him
Okay.
on the screen.
All right,
Is
you're
that
there
one? Can
now.
you see that one?
Okay. All right, I got it. Okay, now what do you want to say about this?
Well, it's upside down, but when you write
I
it the
get
right
that.
way up and put it next to the auto level, it's different. The horizontal is in a different place. It's not the same horizontal for some
I
reason.
have to wonder, I mean, with that, this person must be up high, up off the water for the horizon to be that far below the crosshair.
And well, I say that one is the one that's high. If you look at the other pictures, that it's not so high. Let me get you a better
What's
picture.
this supposed to be illustrating?
Yeah, this. Well,
I
this
mean,
this
this
was
person looks like he has to be way high above the water for there to be that big of a difference between the horizon and the crosshair.
yeah, but it's always
I've only seen.
it's always
Say what?
it's always below, isn't it, the horizon? Especially if it's
Yes.
over water. See this
Yes.
one here as well. You
With
want to
low
get this one as
refraction,
well.
that's true. I agree with
See
that.
that
With
one,
low
Brandon?
refraction, the horizon will be below the crosshairs. Yes.
That's the latest
But
one.
you can end up with conditions where you have high refraction, where things will loom up in the background, and that water horizon will rise above the crosshair. I've seen that plenty of times.
Yeah. See, well, can you see that one there? Look, Roger MC's
Yeah.
just put it in. See the one above
Yeah.
it? Yeah. See the
Yeah.
one above it?
So what? Yeah, you have different refract. Is it taken from the same position?
Yeah, they're next to each other.
Well, then you have different refractive conditions.
What? Even when they're taken like seconds after each other.
Yeah, I mean,
On the same day, then,
what
you would have a
just a minute.
different
What are
horizontal.
we looking at? We're looking at the same auto level in both images?
No, the first one of those the one that's closer, is an auto level 24 times scope.
The surfaces of the ocean are planar rather than curved. So what's happening in this video? What's really the purpose of this video? We see, looking through the scope of an auto level and a theodolite. And as noted in the video, they're not the same. They're different instruments and they may have different calibration settings. and that the crosshairs, when you look through the scopes and see the crosshairs compared to the lighthouses, they're different. And I had noted that they would be.
And the
Okay.
one where it's got the crosshair higher above it is a theodolite, 28 times scope, I think, claimed.
So we see through the auto level, there is that space, and it, just we see a space, and this is Seguin Island over here. And then if we fast forward to the theodolite, we see at the crosshair, there's a bigger gap there. Well, that was noted in the video. I said that the crosshair was very far above the lighthouse. This video wasn't really about explaining why that difference exists, only that it's really the point of this video that these two lighthouses are, well, they're below the horizontal crosshair when each instrument is set horizontal, but each one seems to be interpreting horizontal a little different. But these two lighthouses, this one's actually taller than this one. And
So, and
He's
they're right,
adjusted.
they're literally
then his
feet
equipment-
away
Then
from
he
each
has
other.
not properly adjusted the equipment.
That exactly, that was the point I wanted to make, right, George, that sometimes surveyors don't adjust their equipment properly. And that's why you have an adjustment in that line. You can't do that with an auto level other than not have
That's
it
correct.
calibrated properly.
You can't fool an auto level.
either way, no matter where the crosshair is, this is what we're seeing. And we have two different instruments, and there's some kind of difference between them. How will we quantify that difference between the two? Well, not by this process. That would be a process of going out and with the auto level performing a 2-peg test and calibrating it after the fact until we get the 2-peg test working as close to perfect as we can get it. And an auto level, remember, it's really only meant for those short distances. We're only looking, 1 to 200 feet with an auto level, more or less. Not, 8 miles and 23, 24 miles. So this is unfair to the auto level also. The auto level is not accurate to that distance. And then with the theodolite, it would be taking it to a place with known values, known measurement values expected, right? So we can expect what the measurement values would be. That's what you would do with the theodolite. Like take you to a calibration baseline, or compare it to an instrument that is well calibrated, and you've established points that have known values, and you compare those values that you get out of the instrument to what is known, and then you can make adjustments after that. But that wasn't the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is just to show quickly that, hey, we've got both these lighthouses below these crosshairs.
Because
Yeah,
the
well,
internal
unless it's-
compensator, if the internal compensator is free to move, you cannot bias an auto level, and it will always be dead nuts on if it's properly adjusted.
If it's calibrated correctly. yes.
Calibrated, that's what I meant, properly. If it's calibrated properly, it'll always be dead nuts on, regardless of how you tilt the base, within reason.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
you can
with-
pick up the auto level.
With a theodolite, you can adjust the height of that
That's right.
crosshair,
You
can't
can
you?
bias
Right,
it.
okay.
You can bias it if you have not vertically collimated your theodolite.
And you would say that that's what's occurred in these two
Yeah,
pictures.
I
here.
would say so, sure.
Yeah.
I would say so.
But
Yeah.
that's why I was calling into question your one earlier, where it was too low. It looked like it,
Yeah.
Could
Well,
you
I
have
can
made a
assure you,
similar
Brad-
sort of a mistake?
Bev, I can assure you that I take extreme care in assuring that my equipment is operating properly.
So is it accurate for geodetic surveying, these two different instruments in this video? No.
And that I have the vertical angles collimated on the theodolite so that when it reads 90 degrees, it's going to hit the targets at the same spot as an auto level will.
either way, no matter where the crosshair is, this is what we're seeing. And we have two different instruments, and there's some kind of difference between them.
They're literally
then his
feet
equipment-
away
Then
from
he
each
has
other.
not properly adjusted the equipment.
That exactly.
How will we quantify that difference between the two? Well, not by this process. That would be a process of going out and with the auto level performing a 2-peg test and calibrating it after the fact until we get the 2-peg test working as close to perfect as we can get it. And an auto level, remember, it's really only meant for those short distances. We're only looking, 1 to 200 feet with an auto level, more or less. Not, 8 miles and 23, 24 miles. So this is unfair to the auto level also. The auto level is not accurate to that distance. And then with the theodolite, it would be taking it to a place with known values, known measurement values expected, right? So we can expect what the measurement values would be. That's what you would do with the theodolite. Like take you to a calibration baseline, or compare it to an instrument that is well calibrated, and you've established points that have known values, and you compare those values that you get out of the instrument to what is known, and then you can make adjustments after that. But that wasn't the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video was just to show quickly that, hey, we've got both these lighthouses below these crosshairs.
Okay, so in that one where the image was higher above, the whole image and the light and the mountain, the rock, is it? That even looks like it was higher.
The what now?
You
You mean my image?
Yeah, the one that you did.
Yeah. Well, what you will find, like around sunset on some of those images, so we're on the same page. Franzen Island is 2.73 miles
On
from
that
the
one day, did it rise above the?
Yes.
It rose above the horizontal.
Both in the foreground.
crosshair.
What I saw in that one image that you saw with a lot of refraction, where it was looming up, the ice was looming up over the crosshairs, horizontal crosshairs. What was happening? Both the Franzen Island was rising up at 2.73 miles, and Home Island was rising up even more out at 6 miles. You were picking up a lot more refraction the further you went out.
Well,
So
what would your
even though
estimation be
Franzen
on
Island
how much
rose
then?
up, say what?
What would your estimation be on how high that rose up? Like
Well, we could figure it out because I
have you
have
not done it.
I have all the data.
What's the maximum then? What's the top end?
Okay, just a minute.
What's the highest you've
On
ever
the
got
worst
something
day-
to rise up?
On the worst day. Okay, just a minute, Bab. Hold on. Okay. At Franzen Island, at 2.73 miles, the worst refraction I have measured, it rose up 180 arc seconds. Okay, now let's figure that out in terms of physical measurements.
Okay.
Now-
Trigonometry.
No, don't have to use trigonometry. You've
just got an angle
2.7
though, right?
Oh, God. Will you let me go through the numbers for you?
Okay, go on. Yeah.
All right. 1 arc second is 4.848 microradians. Okay. It's 4.848 times 10 to the minus 6 radians. You multiply that by the distance, which is 2.73 miles, multiply by 5,280 to get feet, and multiply by 12 to get inches. So 2.73 miles is 172,972 inches, roughly 172,000 inches. Okay. Now, if we multiply that by 1 arc second in terms of radians, which is 4.848 e to the minus 6.
Wait a minute.
That tells us
Just before we carry on, right? Are we treating that distance that you've just give us as the radius?
Radius?
Yeah.
Of what?
Because
It's a distance out to the target.
you're using radians, right? So the radians in relation to that
it's
distance.
r theta. Yeah, the height difference is r theta. The distance out times the radian measure multiplied together gives you the height that's subtended by that 1 arc second.
I'm just trying to keep it simple, George. The distance is what you're calling the radius.
Okay, if you want to call it radius, fine.
No, I'm just saying, George, because you are going to use arc seconds and convert them to radians, right? Well, those radians are a distance traveled on the circumference of a circle.
Oh, no,
right?
Bev. No, Bev. To convert arc seconds to radians, you take arc seconds, multiply or divide by 3,600 to get degrees. Then divide by 180 and multiply by pi, and that gives you radians.
Yeah. But in order to get a distance for that radian, you have to use a radius of a circle. Are you using the distance that you've just given in inches as the radius to convert your radians into to get you a distance for height?
Bev, this is basically the perspective equation. That if you want the height of something, if the angle is small enough, you don't have to use trig functions. All you do is multiply the distance out times the angular measure in radians. That gives you the height.
Okay, so that's a trigonometric function, right?
Oh, it's not a trigonometric function. It's just a multiplication. Radians times distance out gives you the physical height of that angular measure.
It's a curve, isn't it? It's a radian is a distance traveled across the circumference. A circumference of a circle is a curved line.
I give up. Forget it.
It's a curved line, though, George. It is, isn't it?
It's very slight when you have 1 arc second.
George, I'm just trying to keep everybody else kept up with us here and what you're doing, right? Because there's a lot of people that don't really understand what's going on. I'm trying to simplify it for everyone.
Okay, you want me to do a diagram?
If you would like to, surely. Yeah, that would definitely help.
We love diagrams.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Love diagrams.
Do you want me to do it? I can get on the board. I've done one.
Well, here. How do I present on this?
Optical squeezing. Have you
You
ever
see a little green button? Are you on a desktop? There's a green button that says screen.
Just a minute, I got to get back into Discord. Little green button.
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.